Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February 3rd meeting of the Advisory Commission on Charter Schools. I'm Matt Taylor. I am filling in as the chair today for Commissioner Walsh, who was unable to be here today. So we would like to start with a call to order, and we'll call this meeting to order at 9:37 a.m., and we will have a flag salute. Commissioner Fennell has agreed to lead us in the flag salute.
Place your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Fennell. And just wanted to set some meeting expectations here that members of the public who wish to make public comment may do so in person by calling into the meeting. Public comment will be limited to 1 minute per person for each item. Members of the public wishing to make public comment in person should sign up on the sign-up sheets located at the tables of the back of the room, and CDE staff will call up members of the public by name when it's time to take the public comment. Individuals should form a queue behind the microphone at the back of the boardroom and wait for further direction prior to making public comment. So we'll have some announcements around that time. Members of the public wishing to dial in for public comment should view the live stream of the meeting. The number and the access code will be provided at the start of the public comment for each item. And prior to making public comment, callers who are watching the meeting live webcast should make sure the volume on their computers is muted to avoid echoing sounds during the call. And when it's a caller's turn to make public comment, the caller will hear a voice announcement that says they are unmuted. Another announcement will be made when it's time for their public comment to end. To call in for public comment, the number is 717-908-1926. Again, 717-908-1926. And you'll use access code 1166083#. All right, so now it's time for welcomes for everyone. Thank you for everyone that's here in the room for coming and for watching the live stream of our February 2026 meeting of the State Board of Education's Advisory Commission on Charter Schools. I just wanted to acknowledge State Board Vice President Cynthia Glover Woods is here with us today, and State Board Member Sharon Olken are both here in person today at the commission meeting. So thank you both for being here and all of your service to the students of California. And one announcement I get to make is that on November 5th, Dr. Derek King and Mike Walsh were appointed by the State Board of Education for another 2-year term for the Advisory Commission. And I'd like to congratulate our reappointed commissioner, Dr. King, who represents parents of charter schools. And we have State Board of Education Vice President Glover Woods to administer the oath of office for Dr. King. So please go ahead.
All right, let me see. Am I on? Is this thing on? Okay, good morning, good morning. Dr. King, I'm honored to administer the oath of office to you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Derek King, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, Dr. King.
So much.
Welcome back.
Congratulations, Commissioner King. Thank you for your service. So now we'll take a time to have each of the commissioners state their name and who they represent on the Advisory Commission. So I'll start on my right, Dr. Fennell.
Good morning, everyone. Todd Fennell, representing California County Superintendents.
Commissioner Crow.
Andrew Crow, representing parents of charter school students.
Commissioner King.
Derek King, representing charter schools.
Commissioner Reyes.
Rick Reyes, representing the Superintendent of Public Instruction.
All right. Commissioner Jones. I see you on Zoom land.
Representing teachers. Yeah, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we gotcha.
Oh, okay, thank you. Erica Jones, representing teachers.
Great. And is Commissioner Brazil on Zoom yet? Okay, not seeing Commissioner Brazil yet. We will make a note if and when he arrives. All right, so we're on item number 4, the review and adoption of the meeting minutes. So I'll call for a motion for the adoption of the December 9 meeting minutes.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All right, moved by Commissioner Crow, seconded by Commissioner Fennell. Any comments from the commission? All right, seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Brazil is absent. Commissioner King?
Aye.
Commissioner Crow?
Aye.
Commissioner Fennell?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Reyes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Taylor votes aye. All right, motion passes. We are moving on to general public comment. So we will take general public comment after the charter schools update. So members of the public who wish to make general public comment now for items that are not part of the agenda. So if the item's not on the agenda, this is your time to make public comment. Please call 717-908-1926 and use access code 1166083#. And you must enter access code 1166083# to be added to the caller queue. Callers making public comment should make sure the volume on their computer is muted to avoid echoing sounds during the call. Now I have the honor of introducing Commissioner Reyes to provide an update for the CDE Charter Schools Division.
Thank you very much. We have a relatively short update this time around, but a lot of work going on with our public charter school grants program. The round 2 sub-grantee recipients for the startup grant were announced yesterday, bringing our total this year to 17 schools that's either new charter schools that are just trying to open or high quality, high performing charter schools that are replicating and expanding. So congratulations to those schools, and our grants program will be working with those schools to serve those students also. We also have our statewide technical assistance for charter schools, or STACS program, kicking off, where the sub-grantees are offering their first best practice webinars this month. That's professional development and technical assistance directed to charter schools. So any charter schools who are not aware of this and interested, you can just contact us at charters@cde.ca.gov, and we will get you connected with those providers. And then this Friday, we have a quarterly training for charter authorizers as part of our Charter Authorizer Support Initiative on providing oversight for non-classroom-based schools. The temporary prohibition on the establishment of non-classroom-based schools just ended, and we already know that there are petitions in the works for new non-classroom-based schools. And so we are excited to provide this training on oversight for non-classroom-based schools to those authorizers. On a similar note, an administrative update, the deadline for non-classroom-based funding determinations was yesterday, and we anticipate about 60 funding determinations at our next ACCS meeting. And yeah, that's our update.
Great. Any questions for Commissioner Reyes? All right. Moving right along to general public comment. So we'll take public comment first from people in the room. CDE staff will call names of members of the public. Please form a line at the microphone located in the back of the room. Do we have any public comment in the room?
No, we do not.
Do we have any public comment from callers on the phone?
There are 6 callers on the line.
All right, thank you.
Caller with the last 4 digits, 9988. You will have 1 minute. You are now live. Please begin your comment. Hello, caller. Okay. Caller with the last four digits, 0107. You are now live. You will have 1 minute. Please begin. They are slowly hanging up, so I believe they may not be for general comment.
Great. Anybody who's wanting to make general public comment, this is your time. If you're commenting on one of the items, please be ready for those items.
There are no more callers in the queue.
Thank you so much. All right, so we'll get moving on the rest of the agenda. We have 3 items on the agenda today. ACCS will review 1 determination of funding request and 2 petition renewals. Item 1, the funding determination, will be heard last. So we're going to start with item number 2, which is the petition for the renewal of a charter school authorized by the California State Board of Education, the consideration of Bay Point Preparatory Academy from San Diego. So, Craig Hembecker, you're going to be doing our update today?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good morning. Craig Heimbichner from
Heimbichner.
the Charter Schools Division. Give me one moment here to get the slides up. And
Should be.
oh, it's up.
Yeah, should be
Okay.
up. You just
Ah, there we go.
she's there. Okay, so we're gonna use this.
Okay, thank you. Got it. All right. It's my pleasure to present item 2, the petition for the renewal of a charter school authorized by the California State Board of Education, and that is Bay Point Preparatory Academy of San Diego. And for a summary of the issue, to remind everybody, on March 15th, 2018, the California State Board of Education, or SBE, granted the petition to establish Bay Point Preparatory Academy San Diego, the charter school, for a 5-year term effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023. Subsequently, pursuant to California Education Code, or EC Section 47607.4, the term was extended to June 30th, 2026. On September 11th, 2025, the San Marcos Unified School District, or district, unanimously denied the charter school's renewal. The charter school submitted an appeal to the SBE pursuant to EC Section 47605.9B on October 9th, 2025. Our proposed recommendation from the California Department of Education, or CDE, is to recommend that the SBE approve the charter school's renewal petition for a term of 5 years, beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2031. And the CDE's proposed recommendation for approval includes the technical amendments detailed in the item. The basis for the proposed recommendation for approval is a review of the charter school's performance on the California School Dashboard, which places the charter school in the high performance category for purposes of renewal under EC Section 47607C2. The CDE's recommendation for a 5-year term is based on the requirement that should the SBE approve the charter school's renewal, the SBE must designate either the district or the county as the chartering authority. As the charter school would be beginning a new oversight relationship with the chartering authority, the CDE proposes to recommend a 5-year term. And the standard of review, as set forth in EC 47605.9B, a petition for the renewal of a charter school currently operating under the authority of the SBE shall be reviewed in accordance with EC 47605K1B, which provides for review of the charter renewal petition pursuant to Section 47605C. 47605C provides that the chartering authority must determine if a charter school's petition is consistent with sound educational practice and with the interests of the community in which the school is proposing to locate, which includes review of the 15 required elements specified under Section 47605C5A through O. So this is what we've called before a de novo review, a fresh review of the whole petition and all the elements. And so, and also in accordance with 47607C1, the review of a charter school's renewal petition shall consider the performance of the charter school on dashboard, state, and local indicators. And also regarding renewal criteria, the performance categories. So 47607 and 47607.2 set forth 3 performance categories of charter renewal: high performing, middle performing, and low performing. A charter school's placement in these categories is determined by its performance on state and local indicators as reflected on the dashboard. To identify the appropriate performance category for the charter school, the CDE reviewed the charter school's 2024 and 2025 dashboard data. For a high-performing category, charter schools meeting one of the 2 criteria defined in 47607C2 are identified as high-performing and shall be granted renewal except upon a finding under 47607E. Criterion 1, based on the performance colors received for all of the state indicators on the dashboard for the 2 previous dashboard years, and criterion 2, based on the status, also known as current year data, for all academic indicators with a performance color for the 2 previous dashboard years. So let's take a look at criterion 1 for the charter school. A charter school is identified as high performing if the charter school received either of the 2 highest performance colors for all of the state indicators on the dashboard for which it receives performance levels. And here we see on this table that the charter school's performance colors on the dashboard from 2024 to 25, which are determined using current year and prior year data. As you can see, the charter school did not receive either of the 2 highest performance colors for all state indicators on the dashboard, and therefore the charter school was not identified as high performing based on criterion 1. Let's take a look now at criterion 2. A charter school is also identified as high performing if for all measurements of academic performance, the charter school has received performance levels school-wide that are the same or higher than the state average, and for a majority of subgroups performing statewide below the state average in each respective year receive performance levels that are higher than the state average. So if you look closely at this slide and the next one, they will show that the charter schools and the statewide status for the measures of academic performance on the 2024 and 2025 dashboards determined using only current year data. And I'll move to the next one. And we can see here from performance category 2 that it does indeed merit a high-performing designation or identification. As indicated in these tables, the charter school performed higher than statewide averages on all measures of academic performance for which it received a performance color. Therefore, the charter school reviewed in this item has been identified as high-performing based on criterion 2. A charter school that meets the criteria for the high-performing category is only required to update the petition to include reasonably comprehensive descriptions of any new requirements enacted into law after the charter was originally granted or last renewed, and as necessary to reflect the charter school's current program. If approved, the charter schools identified in the high-performing category are eligible for renewal terms of 5 to 7 years. As the charter school meets the criteria for the high-performing category, the CDE reviewed the charter school's renewal petition as a high-performing charter school under 47607C2A, which entitles a charter school to a presumption of approval. Let's move over to the fiscal analysis and enrollment projections. The CDE reviewed the charter school's enrollment projections, financial history under SBE oversight, current fiscal position, and multi-year projections. The charter school's multi-year projected budget includes the projected pupil enrollment summarized in the table below, which appear to be reasonable. And this is based on the 2024-25 Census Day actual enrollment and also actual enrollment as reported on the charter school's November 19th, 2025 attendance report. While these projections forecast large increases in enrollment, the charter school has a demonstrated capacity to adjust for enrollment fluctuations, along with adequate reserves to sustain the school in the event the enrollment projections are not realized. A little bit more of historical perspective here. The charter school has a good financial record under SBE authorization. The charter school's fiscal year 2025-26 first interim report indicates that the charter school is projecting a positive ending fund balance of $1,727,828, and reserves calculated as the ending fund balance divided by total expenditures of 56.43% of total expenditures, which is above the recommended 5% outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, between the charter school and the SPE. In their 2024-25 audit report, we reviewed that. It reflected an unqualified status with an ending fund balance of $1,659,977 and reserves of 44.42%. So in conclusion, the charter school's multi-year financial plan projects operating surpluses and increasing reserves. The following table displays the charter school's ending fund balance and reserves percentage after the CDE's adjustment for the next 3 fiscal years. And that means that if you look at this data and consider our criteria, we concluded that the charter school's financial plan is fiscally sustainable. Oversight history: since its establishment, the charter school has operated under the authorization of the SPE, with oversight responsibilities delegated to the CDE Charter Schools Division, and it has been in good standing with its chartering authority. The CDE did issue the charter school one letter of concern on July 8th, 2021. While the charter school had adopted a conflict of interest policy, it had not obtained approval by the appropriate governing body. The school resolved the issue on August 12th, 2021, and since, the CDE has had no outstanding concerns regarding the charter school. Over the course of its current term, the CDE has found the charter school to be in compliance with its charter and the MOU between the SPE and the charter school. The CDE's proposed recommendation for approval of the charter school's renewal petition includes technical amendments detailed in the item. The technical amendments do not reflect material changes to the program proposed in the petition and consist of the following: updates to assurances and references to statute to align with current law, inclusion of the street address of the charter school's facility. In conclusion, the CDE proposes to recommend that the SPE approve the charter school's renewal petition for a term of 5 years beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2031, with the technical amendments detailed in the item. The charter school meets the requirements for a presumptive renewal as a high-performing charter under EC Section 47607 C2A. The CDE has found no basis for denying the charter school's renewal. As the charter school, if approved, will begin a new oversight relationship with the chartering authority designated by the SPE, the CDE proposes to recommend a 5-year term. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your presentation. Any clarifying questions Craig, before you sit down? This is a chance for clarifying questions, but not deliberative discussions amongst the board members.
So my only clarifying question is, can you please share the CDE's deliberation regarding a 5-year recommendation versus a 7, considering that they were high performing?
Yes. It was basically a consideration that included the fact that wherever they land as under the county or the district, whatever it's between at that time with the state board, in discussion with the petitioner, they make that determination. Either one, it will be a new relationship with a new oversight entity. And so our perspective was not to presume that this is going to be any type of relationship that is either desired for 7 years or not. We don't know. So not knowing, we decided to make it 5 years. Of course, that could be changed by the board if it goes there, and they could make a 7-year if they wish. But ours was trying to take in consideration a new oversight authorizing entity. You're welcome.
Additional questions from commissioners for Craig?
All right, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone here from the charter school that would like to present?
Sorry. You could use this if you want, or you can use, oops, where'd it go?
welcome. Thank you for joining us today, and go ahead.
Thank you, ACCS commissioners, and thank you, CDE staff. My name is, excuse me. My name is Franco Guaro. I am the co-founder and CEO of Bay Point Preparatory Academy. We're here to present a 7-year charter renewal petition, and we're excited to share our story with you today. We always start with our mission statement, because our mission statement drives every decision we make. Our mission at Bay Point Preparatory Academy is to educate diverse TK through 8th grade students through a rigorous college prep curriculum in a flexible, student-centered learning environment. Our goal is to actively partner with students, parents, guardians, and the community to support students' academic success and personal goals. Out of 1,300 charter schools, only 135 have been academically high-performing for 3 consecutive years. Bay Point is one of these charters. We believe this is strong evidence and why we requested a 7-year renewal term. In addition to the 3 years of high academic performance, Bay Point's fiscal and governance has consistently been in good standing for the past 7 years. This is evidenced by CDE's verification over the 7-year oversight. Bay Point has balanced budgets. We hold monthly fiscal monitoring meetings. We have no fiscal audit exceptions. Bay Point is governance transparent. We have a mission-driven governance, and we have a third-party back office expertise and accountability. This, again, in our opinion, supports our request for a 7-year renewal term. You'll see in the picture that is actually a board chair getting an instruction from one of our students in archery. Bay Point's leadership team. We've been instrumental in 4 charter school operations and oversight over the years. We have 86 years of combined educational experience. 35 years of that is in business experience. The team has founded 3 charter schools, 2 SBE charter schools, 1 county, 1 district charter school, all with WASC accreditation in their first year of operation, by the way. Bay Point's teaching and staff team. Bay Point's teachers have 105 years of combined experience. Our support staff have 57 years of educational experience. Among all staff, 33% are bilingual. Teachers follow their students for 3 years consecutively, and our coaching staff supports student academics. Here's our enrollment demographic data. We're comparing ourselves against the district and the state. This is the most recent data we have for both the district and the state. Bay Point's demographics, enrollment mirrors the state demographics more closely than the district. Here's our 3-year demographic growth. As you can see, we continue to increase serving the underserved populations, and yet we continue to qualify as a high academically performing charter school. Our only underserved population that decreased is our English language learners, because we reclassified about 13% of those students, and we track all of the reclassified students for 4 years. As referenced in one of our support letters, I'd like to point out Bay Point's ELA and math growth based on the most recent dashboard data. There was a combined 80% accelerated or exceptional student growth from the prior year in ELA, so we're very proud of that. Our Hispanic demographic grew 79%, and our socioeconomic disadvantaged student population grew 76% in ELA. Likewise with math, there was a combined 77% accelerated and exceptional student growth from the prior year. Again, both these slides further support our request for a 7-year charter term. So how do we achieve this? We have staff-run, these are some of the examples. We have staff-run expanded learning opportunity program. This is administered internally. It's not subbed out to another vendor. We have teacher-implemented before and after-school care tutoring every single day. We have this looping model that we've implemented through grades K through 12, where the teacher follows the student for multiple years. And then our upper grades rotate classes based on core subjects similar to high school. Excuse me, this better prepares them for high school. And our iReady and interim assessment data drives our instruction. So we have to really focus on that. We further support our students. We have a healthy food initiative. I think this is a critical resource for many of our Bay Point families. And like in our LCAP, one of our top priorities is school safety. We have a closed school campus. Mobile devices are prohibited on campus. 46 cameras campus-wide, including every single classroom to keep students and teachers safe. Camera automated gate entry to our campus. All visitors are required to check in and wear a badge. And of course, all volunteers are FBI and DOJ cleared. Thanks to a very exciting art grant, we have been able to implement theater, dance, as well as purchase art supplies. We see that this helps further support the whole child. You can see some of the pictures here of the students. Our most recent theater production was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. A great thing about this recital is that if students didn't get a part, they could always be a Oompa Loompa. You could see the Oompa Loompas there. So suffice it to say, all the TKs got a role in the play, so that was exciting. Bay Point has an archery program. This is unique to San Diego. It's open to all students, grades 4 through 8. Bay Point students qualified for 2 nationals, and we doubled the number of students that actually went to nationals year over year. So 17 students qualified in nationals in the state of California for archery, 10 were from Bay Point. So we're very proud of this unique program. This program is self-sustaining through fundraising and donations. Bay Point is actively involved in the community. Here's some pictures of everything we do in our outreach. We have the Fall Carnival. We host various activities to support individuals in need. We host annual events honoring veterans and first responders, some fun stuff there, trunk or treat. And then we invite the community to our theater productions. Here we're sharing some additional pictures of community involvement. We've built a wonderful tradition of inviting honor flight, celebrating veterans, many over 100 years old. The students follow up with letters celebrating their birthdays, just another way we model kindness and get the students involved in the community. We also set up booths at various local events, National Night Outs, Sunset Market, and many others. Thank you. Based on 3 years as an academically high-performing charter school, we're asking for a 7-year renewal term. Bay Point has an extensive, ongoing, and established relationship with San Diego County Office of Education through 5 years of CTI, live scan services, collaborative workshops, professional development, ongoing visits related to LCAP, CalPADS, ELOP, Title II, immunizations, LPAC compliance, and ongoing communication with the credentialing and SART divisions at San Diego County Office of Education. So based on the above information, the charter renewal law, we believe Bay Point qualifies for a 7-year charter renewal term. Thank you, and we're available to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. And before we take any clarifying questions from the school, you can hang out there for a minute. We just wanted to notify folks that wish to make public comment on the phone for this item should call in at this time. Dial 717-908-1926 and use access code 1166083# when prompted. Again, that code is 1166083# to be added to the caller queue. Commissioners, are there any questions for the school? Any clarifying questions?
I have a very similar question that I had to the CD. Can you provide or provide a little bit more insight why you believe it's more appropriate as a high-performing charter to receive a 7-year renewal versus 5?
When that criterion was implemented, a lot of work has gone into reaching that goal. It would be an acknowledgement to the students, to the supporting families, and the school teachers and staff for all of that work that they've been doing. Our job is to serve students. That was the benchmark. That was a goal we would want to achieve. It would be a great acknowledgement. We understand CDE's perspective and the requirement to recommend a 5-year renewal. However, based on only 10% of charter schools have met the criteria to be high performing for 3 consecutive years. That says something about what is being done in the field with these students, especially as we're serving more of the underserved population. A big component of extending it from 5 to 7 years is the adult issue is it takes a lot to get a charter school renewed. We can focus a little more time on serving students with the 2 extra years. And we plan on having a similar relationship and partnership, for which we've already started with San Diego County Office of Education with respect to, we're not sure how often we'll meet with them, but it will be as often, we hope, on a monthly basis as we've had with CDE. And this really just keeps the guidance and the support between the authorized and the charter school so that we can address any issues or concerns if they do come up. Thank you.
Great. Any additional questions from commissioners? All right, seeing none, is there anyone here from the district that would like to present? It wasn't on my notes that they were going to be here, so great. We will move on to public comment. So are there any public commenters on the phone for item, this is item 2. The operator will notify callers when it's their turn to provide public comment. Public comment is limited to 1 minute per speaker.
Okay. Caller with the last 4 digits, 0107. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Good morning. My name is Erin Myers, and I'm in the 6th grade. I have attended this school since 5th grade. I participate in archery and theater, which have helped me grow in confidence, responsibility, and teamwork. I am thankful for the opportunities that the school has given me. I'd like to thank Ms. Char, Mr. Frank, and Ms. B, and all of my teachers for supporting me and helping me succeed. I respectfully ask for your support in approving the petition renewal so students like me can continue learning and growing in a school we care about. Thank you for your time.
Caller with the last 4 digits, 9988. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Good morning, board members. My name is Kalia Pendergrass, and I'm in 7th grade. I have been a student at Bay Point since 5th grade, and this school has given me many opportunities to grow and succeed. I love Bay Point because it encourages students to try new things and believe in themselves. I participate in archery, and last year I was proud to be ranked #1 in the state for middle school girls. I am also involved in theater and leadership team, which have helped me build confidence, responsibility, and teamwork. I also participated in the annual Veterans event in November, which taught me respect and appreciation for those who have served our country. I respectfully ask for your support in approving the petition renewal so students like me can continue to grow, learn, and have these meaningful opportunities. Thank you for your time.
Caller with the last 4 digits, 5128. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Burdett. I am a mother of 3 students at Bay Point Preparatory, and I just want to say that I support a 7-year renewal or a 5-year renewal for Bay Point, and I just appreciate everything that they've done for my kids, and I hope to be able to continue sending my kids there.
Caller with the last four digits, 7643. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Good morning, ACCS commissioners and CDE staff. My name is Zach Wolf, and I'm here today in strong support of Bay Point Preparatory Academy San Diego's 7-year charter renewal. I have worked in charter school fiscal services across California for the past 12 years, including 7 years in close partnership with Bay Point. During that time, our team at Creative Back Office has worked closely with Bay Point's board and school leadership to provide accurate, transparent, and reliable financial reporting. Based on my experience, I can say confidently that Bay Point's board and leadership are among the most committed and operationally sound I have ever worked with. Financial decisions are discussed in detail with both the board and back office, ensuring strong fiscal controls, accountability, and long-term sustainability. This reflects a clear commitment to transparency and responsible financial management. From a financial and governance perspective, Bay Point is a well-run organization that plans thoughtfully for the future while keeping students at the center of its work. I respectfully urge you to approve Bay Point Preparatory Academy San Diego's 7-year charter renewal. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Caller with the last four digits, 7555. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Hello, good morning. My name is Vanya Velasquez, and I'm an 8th grader at Bay Point. I came to Bay Point 3 years ago, and since then, this school has helped me grow in ways I never expected. Bay Point challenges me, supports me, and gives me opportunities that I would have never had anywhere else. Archery has been a huge part of my experience here. Throughout Bay Point, I was able to compete at nationals, and last year I was in the top 5 in the state for middle school girls. That experience taught me discipline, confidence, and how to push myself even when things are hard. I want to thank Ms. B and Mr. H for encouraging me and helping me become a stronger student and athlete. They never gave up on me, and that's what really matters. I am also on the leadership team, and this has taught me how to be a leader and participate in school activities. Bay Point has shaped who I am today, and I hope you'll approve the petition so this school can continue giving students opportunities to succeed. Thank you.
Caller with the last four digits, 4383. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Keel, and I am in 7th grade. I have been a student at Bay Point since kindergarten, and this school has played a big role in who I am today. I love Bay Point because of the opportunities it gives students. I participate in archery, where I have learned discipline, focus, and leadership. These skills have helped me both in and out of the classroom. One of my most meaningful experiences was participating in the annual Veterans event in November, where I had the honor of meeting veterans, including some who were over 100 years old. That experience taught me respect, gratitude, and the importance of service. I respectfully ask for your support in approving the petition renewal for future students can continue to have the same opportunities I had. Thank you for your time.
Caller with the last four digits, 3587. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now. You are now live.
Hi, this is Jonathan Perpich. I support the renewal, the 7-year renewal of Bay Point Academy's charter. Our story is my wife was pregnant with our second child, and we had applied for our local public school. And within 2 days before she gave birth, we got a call saying there's no room for our daughter for TK. And it was very stressful. We didn't know what to do. That was our plan all along. And we found Bay Point. We applied within 24 hours. We were accepted. We got, it's been a great experience for my daughter. And I urge you guys to vote and approve this so that families like myself are able to have an option outside of the regular public school district. Thank you.
Caller with the last four digits, 1530. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Miller, and I am a parent of 2 students at Bay Point. My oldest daughter has been there for 5 years. My youngest is in TK. I support the 7-year renewal of the Bay Point Academy's charter, and I appreciate the sense of community, the personalized learning, which challenges my high-achieving students, and the small class sizes. Thank you.
There are no more callers in the queue.
Great. Thank you. Is there anyone in the room who wishes to make public comment?
Yes, we do have one person signed up. Laura, please come to the microphone in the back. Okay. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Laura Curran with the Charter School Development Center. Thank you, Commissioner Taylor, and to the staff who did the review of the charter petition behavior work. We believe that it's very intensive in terms of time and focus that it takes away from students and their teaching and learning.
Great. Thank you. Any additional public comment in the room?
No, there's not.
All right. So now it's our time, commissioners, to open the meeting for commissioner questions and deliberations. Any?
I don't have a question, but I do want to say when there was a public comment, I couldn't hear it at all. The one that's in the.
It seemed like there was a technical issue with the microphone, so we were able to
Okay.
hear it in the room. But staff, should we do anything different? Should we retake that public comment? All right, we will resolve the technical issue here in the room.
Test.
And
Yeah.
Now we can hear you. All right. We'll start over. Is there any public comment in the room?
Hello. My name is Laura Kerr. I'm with the Charter School Development Center. Thanks again to the commissioners and to the staff for the review of this charter petition. This is an outstanding school with a track record of success in governance, fiscal, and academic achievement. We believe that charter renewals take a lot of time and energy and focus from the leadership team away from teaching and learning, and we believe that the school has absolutely earned a 7-year renewal. We also think that if there's any shortening of the term, it should be tied to any questions you may have around student academic achievement, of which there are none in this case. The rationale for having them have a short term is because they're going to San Diego County, potentially a new authorizer or new oversight agent. And actually, we think that having more time with them would be better rather than less. So we support the renewal, and we hope that you'll provide a 7-year term. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Any more public comment in the room?
That concludes public comment for item 2.
Great. I hope were you able to hear that, Commissioner Jones? Yay. All right. Now that everyone's had a chance online and in the room to make public comment, commissioners, now's our time to deliberate and ask questions. So anybody who'd like to go first? Go ahead, Commissioner Fennell.
So for the CDE, first of all, I appreciate your thorough evaluation and your presentation. Is the only reason to go from your recommendation from 7 to 5 based on your the potential for the onboarding of a new authorizer? And if so, first I'll let you answer.
I appreciate the question. And is this microphone on?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's basically a matter of 2 things. One is what you just stated, and the other is the fact that we try to stick very closely to statute, as everybody knows. Statute really only requires 5. 7 is permitted, so it's really a judgment call, and we gave our other reason, and it's what you already know. So that's all we have.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say, should the San Diego County Office of Education become the authorizer, they're high-performing, more than capable of taking on the oversight of the charter.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Other questions?
So I just really have a comment since we exist for the support of the state board. It goes to the line of statements that we've been talking about in terms of 7 years. Just the fact that they were denied by San Diego, to me, highlights the fact that they're going to be in a hostile environment with respect to their authorizer. So we're talking about a very, very high-performing charter. So I highly encourage that when it does move on to the state board, that 7 years is considered. Because as mentioned, the renewal process takes a lot of bandwidth from the charter in order to renew. That means we're focusing less on supporting students, parents, and staff, and more on our existence. So I'm just hoping in terms of this comment that when it does get moved on to the state board, that 7 years is really considered for one of the best charters in the state of California by academic performance.
Commissioner Reyes.
Yes, thank you. Just a quick clarification, they didn't go through San Diego County yet. San Diego County has not reviewed them because as part of the state board renewal process, they get to skip the county. They petitioned their local district, San Marcos Unified, who is not attending here today. So, and adding to the CDE's rationale for the 5-year recommendation is the list of technical amendments, which are detailed in the item. While we think they're not substantive enough to affect a recommendation for approval, we did think that that was also support for having the shorter term for when the school would be updating their petition again, and that the authorizer would have the opportunity to review.
Go ahead, Commissioner Fennell.
Yeah, so just a clarification. So I know the recommendation is for the state board to approve this. You're recommending 5 years. What exactly is before us today?
I asked that exact question before the meeting to get clarification. So we have the opportunity to make a motion for 5, 6, or 7 years, or not to approve the charter school. We have all of those to make a recommendation for the number of years, as well as whether we would like to approve it or not. So that is, when we get to the motion stage, that's our purview to be able to make that determination. But the CDE's recommendation is approval with 5 years. That's the staff recommendation.
Are you ready for a motion?
Let's see if there's any more other comments. Yeah, Commissioner Crowe.
I have a couple of questions for the charter school staff, if that's okay.
Yep.
The first one is around quorum and board meetings. My assumption, reading the documents, is that it looks like you now have 3 board members as opposed to the issues before. I'm just curious if you could give some insight into the thought process of having, well, I believe it was 5 board meetings between April of 2024 and March 2025 with no quorum. Like how did that happen, and what have you done, if anything, to fix that?
Great question. I appreciate that question. Is the microphone on? Can you hear me? So we did have a quorum. There was language in the teleconferencing rules that we were not in compliance with, and so we were unaware of the difference in the rule of the teleconferencing rules, but we did have a quorum. We had a quorum of all board members present, but one of the board members was outside the jurisdiction of the local area that we serve. So we ratified that immediately. The board members reconvened for all of those board meetings that were measured out of compliance to ratify, and including all of the action items. So we addressed that immediately, but it was a technical non-compliance met requirement that based on the COVID teleconferencing rules.
Great, thank you. I have one more on the attendance. So I'm a little hesitant on the future, projections. I do appreciate, the language in there that you would be able to, change some staffing structures and reduce leadership. But my concern is just really in the calculations for the enrollment and attendance. So if the numbers I put together, right, or that you shared, you had 199 students in 22-23. I know it's a lot of numbers.
Correct,
And
yeah.
then it went up to 237
Correct.
in 23-24. Then at the beginning of the year in 2024-25, you had 280.
Correct.
But then on census day, it went down to 162. And this year, from my understanding, is you're at 175. Are those numbers roughly correct? Or
Those are correct, yes.
so I just, my question would be, how would you look at going from two years of 162, 175 to feeling confident in 312 next year, and then almost 500 the next 3 years? Where does that confidence come from to get those numbers?
Well, the trend projections prior to the major changes that we made, and the change is very difficult. So when we made programmatic change that resulted in a large amount of student loss, and change within the program, because we saw academically, if we are not measured at a higher account academically and we're not serving students in a different way than they would otherwise get at an alternative option, then there may be no reason for us to exist. So the trend was going high. We get about 100 to 140 new applicants each year. We believe in the last 2 years that was overshadowed, one, by the renewals coming up, so what's going to happen, and second was how true were some of the comments being made with the community members that objected to the programmatic change. We are currently in expansion mode, so we only have a CUP, conditional use permit by the city for 10 classrooms, so we wanted to stay small. We do have the independent study component in our petition, so we're able to pad that up to 20% of the student body and still meet the city's requirements of our facility. So there's a facility constraint. We were pushing the belt on at one point we were actually at 257, so close to 280, but it was actually 257 that year. Closed it at 237. We went through the programmatic change, lost 100 students. So we want to be mindful of better communication with programmatic changes, better communication with setting the expectation for families, making an intentional decision to choose the academy, because it's a high rigor, it's a college prep. So if we can do a better job in explaining that, then there'll be less confusion if we actually have to make drastic changes to the program. We have confidence in the 312. If we don't meet the 312, we have a great track record of reducing expenditures based on what we realized with enrollment. We hope to get close to it. I'm sorry, not 212, but 312. We hope to get close to it. But if we don't, we'll make those adjustments. And then as we expand, we did get a TEFRA bond approval through the city of San Marcos on a tax-exempt bond, and we hope to close financing on that, and that'll add the additional 10 classrooms. So currently in our facility, we can expand up to 312. We have the wait list for that, and we have the interest. It's getting some of the uncertainty of whether we're going to exist in the first place. We hold weekly tours, and the first question is, how long are you guys going to be around? Because parents want to plan long term. So after this approval, our confidence lies on drawing from the wait list to fill those seats.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional comments from commissioner, questions or comments, or are we ready to take a motion?
I'll go ahead and move that we recommend approval to the State Board of Education for a term of 7 years.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fennell on a 7-year approval. We have a second from Dr. King. Any questions or deliberations on that motion? All right, then I will take a roll call vote. Commissioner King. Commissioner Crow.
Aye.
Yep. That would Commissioner Fennell take a friendly amendment to include the technical amendments?
Absolutely.
Great. So the motion has been revised to include the technical amendments presented by the staff for a term of 7 years. Commissioner King, do you still second? Commissioner Stings, that work? Commissioner Reyes? Does that work? Yeah. Cool. Yes, sorry. Awesome. All right, we'll redo the roll call vote. Commissioner King. Aye. Commissioner Crow.
Aye.
Commissioner Fennell.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
I don't feel comfortable with the 7. I'm voting no.
Okay. Commissioner Reyes.
Also based on the term, I will abstain.
Okay, and Commissioner Taylor votes aye. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Help me out here, staff. That motion passes. Okay, great. We have a approved motion to send this to the State Board of Education for a 7-year term with the technical amendments presented by CDE. Hold on. We're waiting on. Yeah, because it's got to be a. Staff are collaborating online, folks. I know Commissioner Jones, you probably can't hear what's happening, but staff are collaborating over on the other side, trying to determine what is the necessary vote count for this. So we'll just hang on for a sec while they do that. All right, so I'm hearing from the staff that motion fails, given that we only have 4 votes in the affirmative. So I will entertain another motion or additional deliberation at this point. If there are additional questions, or you may.
Maybe I haven't misunderstanding. If there's 6 of us here, you have 4, which is a majority. You have 1 abstention and 1 against.
Yep. So CDE staff, will you please come to the microphone and address it for the public of what is going the terms of the vote count? Those help the public see the transparency of what's going on in this process.
I'm going to read directly from the ACCS webpage on this issue under Chairs and Rules of Governance. Towards the end of it, no fewer than 5 members shall be deemed a quorum of the ACCS for purposes of conducting meetings. Each formal recommendation of the ACCS shall require an affirmative vote of at least 5 members.
All right, so according to the CDE website,
Affirmative, 1 abstention, and 1 no.
No.
The motion fails.
Okay, so motion fails, so we can have additional deliberations.
Can I ask another procedural?
You can.
If we don't get to 5 on any of these motions, what would a next step be?
I think there would be no formal action by the commission, but these details would be noted in the item that goes to the state board with a brief explanation of what the motions were, what the vote counts were, and what the disagreement was about the length of term.
All right, so any additional deliberations? My understanding of the conversation too is the state board has the authority to listen to our recommendation or not. So in terms of whatever our vote count is or whatever our recommendation is, whether that's 5 years, 7 years, no action taken, the state board can still choose to take whatever action they deem necessary. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'll also add that if we do pass another motion, we will also include details of the first motion, so the state board has all of that information.
Got it.
I'll motion for the original recommendation, which is the 5-year with the technical amendments.
Okay, do we have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we'll second. Let's have a little conversation about that. I think when I would like to make some statements on the record around 7 years. The law was built, and I think this is something I want as the commission. I want to kind of reiterate as a commissioner, and maybe there's other commissioners that want to agree with this. That this law was passed to allow some levels of discretion that I think CDE has the ability to take here in their recommendation of adding additional years based on the exceptional academic performance that was demonstrated by this school. And I think CDE as a leader in the charter school space should be leading, and our commission and the state board should be leading in what do we want authorizers to do as a representative of charter schools and as a charter school superintendent that has high performing schools that just worked exceptionally hard to get a 7-year renewal. the law encourages that. That's why it was built that way. So I think as a body and as a state board, it would be very good signaling to the authorizer community that 7 is a real thing. You can do this. You don't have to say the minimum allowed by the statute is 5, so we're uncomfortable, we're going to hold at 5, that we can do more because the statute encouraged that. It was higher levels of standards. And when AB 1505 and AB 1507 came in, it was about ratcheting up the floor, which is why we have a low track and we can deny schools. The trade-off was now we have a high track and we need to reward these schools that have done what was asked of them. So I just, for me, I will support the motion around 5 years because I feel like the school deserves a renewal, but I also would encourage the state board personally as a commissioner to reflect on the 7 years. So any other comments from other commissioners before we take a vote?
I have a comment.
Oh yeah, go ahead. So, Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, I do think one thing that's missing here, I have heard from my fellow commissioners that it takes a lot of work on behalf of the charter school to fill out and to apply for the renewal. I don't want it lost that oversight also takes a lot of work, and giving the folks the time and space they need to build the new relationship. And then also, as you know, I have been a squeaky wheel about how we have issues with oversight, and give them time to actually set up that relationship, I think is also critical. I also, I wasn't going to say anything, but now that I have the floor, we should not be characterizing relationships as hostile. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Reyes.
Yes, thank you for this discussion. I just want to limit the CDE's rationale to the appeal that is before us, and that our recommendation for 5 years is not intended to be applied to the review of any other high-performing charter. It's very unique to the situation where we are handing over oversight, and I think we're reducing our oversight portfolio by 10 schools this year, so it's not very likely to happen again. But I appreciate your comments, and I do wanted to clarify that.
Yep, thank you. Commissioner Fennell.
Yeah, clarifying question. So do we need to have the motion include the term? And I guess my question would be, could we not send the recommendation to the board that they consider approval and that they would understand the deliberation here that we're not in agreement in the terms or the term of approval, and allow them to make that decision?
Is motion changed to recommend approval and with the state board deliberating on the term?
Staff, is that an acceptable legal motion? I think we're just advisory, so I feel like we can sort of say we're punting on the years, but I don't know, do you need us to come up with a years statement?
Lindsay with the state board staff. Requirement that you make any particular motion. So if you'd like to make a motion for approval without the term, you may do so. We will take all of the background and comments to the board, and I know that staff will include that in the deliberations when it gets to the board. So.
Excellent. And we have 2 state board members here in the room that will help represent the comments, I hope, at the meeting. So Commissioner Crowe, would you like to amend your motion?
I have a comment.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner King.
So just because we're publicly deliberating, the reason why I believe it's appropriate to characterize it as hostile is because it was denied, which is the definition of hostility. And so I believe that that's important from the public's perspective, so that way we don't sanitize aggressive actions against a high-performing charter. It's absolutely hostile if you're denied renewal. Now, with respect to their relationship with their authorizer, I fully appreciate the amount of time it takes to provide oversight, but that doesn't shift whether it's a 5-year term or 7-year term. That job is absolutely the same thing. So just to piggyback on all of your comments, I totally agree. I'm glad we're likely to make a motion to give the time requirement to the state board.
Great, thank you. And maybe there's some clarification. Commissioner Reyes, what does the process look like for assigning an authorizer as the CDE is and the SBE is sort of divulging or diverting control of these schools to somewhere else? How do you select the authorizer?
The selection of authorizer is handled by state board and state board staff. That's not a piece of the process that the CDE handles, but the statute just requires consultation with the petitioner, but then it is ultimately the state board's decision.
Cool. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Crow, would you like to amend your motion based on staff direction?
Yeah, I would amend my motion to approve recommendation with no time limit recommendation, have that be at the discretion of the state board.
All right, do we have a second on that motion? With the technical amendments?
With the technical amendments, correct.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
So it's been moved by Commissioner Crow to approve the charter with an indeterminate term of 5, 6, or 7 years based on the discretion of the state board with the technical amendments, and a second by Commissioner Fennell. Any comments on that motion? All right, ready for a roll call vote. Commissioner King?
Aye.
Commissioner Crow? Aye. Commissioner Fennell?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
I'm going to abstain.
Commissioner Reyes?
Aye.
And Commissioner Taylor votes aye. That motion carries with a vote of, can I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to and 1 abstention. All right. Thank you all for your hard work on getting through all of the details. We are now going to move to item 3, which is the petition for the renewal of the charter school authorized by the California State Board of Education, consideration of Olive Grove Charter, Santa Barbara. CDE staff will be presenting. Craig, is this you again? Craig Heimbigner?
I'm back.
Awesome.
Yes.
Welcome
Thank you.
back, Craig.
So for item 3, it is, as you said, the petition for the renewal of a charter school authorized by the California State Board of Education, and that school is Olive Grove Charter in Santa Barbara. Summary of the issue: on July 18th, 2018, the California State Board of Education, or SBE, granted the petition to establish Olive Grove Charter Santa Barbara, the charter school, for a 5-year term effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023. Subsequently, pursuant to Education Code Section 47607.4, the charter school's term was extended to January 30th, 2026. On October 28th, 2025, the SBUSD, Santa Barbara Unified School District, denied the charter school's renewal by a vote of 3-2. The charter school submitted an appeal to the SBE pursuant to Ed Code or EC Section 47605.9B. The California Department of Education proposes to recommend that the SBE approve the charter school's renewal petition for a term of 5 years beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2031. The recommendation is based on a review of the following: the charter school's performance on the California School Dashboard, which places the charter school in the middle performance category for purposes of renewal under 47607.2B, and the charter school's verified data, which indicate measurable increases in academic achievement equivalent to 1 year's progress for each year in school. And regarding the standard of review, as set forth in EC Section 47605.9B, a petition for the renewal of a charter school currently operating under the authority of the SBE shall be reviewed in accordance with 47605K1B, which provides for the review of the charter renewal petition pursuant to Section 47605C. 47605C provides that the chartering authority must determine if a charter school's petition, quote, is consistent with sound educational practice and with the interests of the community in which the school is proposing to locate, unquote. And that includes the 15 required elements, as we mentioned previously. Those are specified under Section 47605C5A through O. So it's a fresh de novo review. In accordance with 47607C1, review of a charter school's renewal petition shall consider the performance of the charter school on dashboard, state, and local indicators. And 47607 and 607.2 set forth 3 performance categories of charter renewal: high performing, middle performing, and low performing. A charter school's placement in these categories is determined by its performance on state and local indicators as reflected on the dashboard. So for middle performing category, because that's what we're considering here, charter schools that do not meet the criteria for high or low are identified as middle performing. And for these charter schools pursuant to EC section 47607.2b, the chartering authority shall consider the school-wide performance and performance of all student groups of pupils, subgroups, served by the charter school on the state indicators included in the evaluation rubrics adopted pursuant to 52064.5, and the performance of the charter school on the local indicators included in the evaluation rubrics adopted pursuant to section 52064.5. The chartering authority shall provide greater weight to performance on measurements of academic performance in determining whether to grant a charter renewal. Continuing on middle performing category renewal criteria, the chartering authority may deny a charter renewal pursuant to this subdivision only upon making written findings, setting forth specific facts to support the findings, that the charter school has failed to meet or make sufficient progress toward meeting standards that provide a benefit to the pupils of the school. That closure of the school is in the best interest of pupils and, if applicable pursuant to paragraph 2, that its decision provided greater weight to performance on measurements of academic performance. For a charter renewed pursuant to this subdivision, the chartering authority shall grant a renewal for a period of 5 years. So there's no discretion as in the previous item. Based on the charter school's performance on the 2023, 24, and 25 dashboards, the charter school does not meet the criteria for either high or low performing categories, and accordingly, the CDE reviewed the renewal petition as middle. Regarding measurements of academic performance, we'll walk you through this one kind of carefully. The performance color on the dashboard is determined using current year and prior year data. The charter school had too few eligible students enrolled to receive a performance color for any measurements of academic performance on the 2023, 24, or 25 dashboards. The tables on the following slides display the charter schools and the statewide average distance from standard on ELA and math as reported on those 3 dashboards. So here you have the slide where, as you can see, the charter school performed lower than statewide averages for ELA for each of the past 3 years. You have the 23, 24, and 25 data for the charter school and statewide. And then continuing with math, the charter school also performed lower than statewide averages for math for each of the past 3 years. Now continuing with the English Learner Progress Indicator, or ELPI, reports that the percentage of English learner or EL students making progress on the English Language Proficiency Assessments for California, or the LPAC, and the College and Career Indicator, CCI, reports the percentage of high school graduates considered prepared for college or a career. And we'll have that data in front of you in a moment. The charter school's ELPI student group has been fewer than 11 students for the past 3 years. In order to protect student privacy, the charter school's ELPI data is not displayed. On CCI, the percentage of students considered prepared for college or career, with the 3 years of the dashboard data before you, compared to statewide, this table shows that the charter schools and statewide outcomes for the college and career indicator give us the result that the charter school performed lower than the statewide averages for the CCI in each of the 3 past years. And the charter school has demonstrated growth over that time, as you can see, moving from 3.1 to 13.3%. Regarding measurements of academic engagement, that gives us, we get that data through chronic absenteeism. And the chronic absenteeism figure represents the percentage of students in kindergarten through grade 8 who were absent for 10% or more instructional days they were enrolled. And as you can see here, the charter school performed better than the statewide average on chronic absenteeism in 2 of the 3 years. regarding measurements of academic engagement, continuing with the graduation rate. That represents the percentage of students who receive a regular high school diploma in either 4 or 5 years. And the following table that's before you displays the charter schools and statewide performance colors, along with the charter schools and statewide graduation rates. And as you can see, the charter school performed below the statewide status in all 3 years. Moving on to measurement of conditions and climate. The suspension rate represents the percentage of students who were suspended for a total of 1 full day or more during the school year. And here we have the 3 years, and we have the colors, and we have the status from both the charter school and the state. And as you can see here, the charter school has maintained a 0% suspension rate for the past 3 years. Performance on other assessments. So the charter school reported administering the STAR assessments, or STAR, for both reading and math, which were developed by Renaissance Learning Incorporated, and that's an SBE-approved source of verified data. In the STAR assessment metric, Renaissance Learning Incorporated recommends using the student group percentile, that's SGP for short, as a measure for determining whether students made 1 year's progress. The SGP is measured on a scale from 1 to 99, with 50 SGP considered typical growth. This metric shows the average growth index, where a growth score of 35 to 65 indicates 1 year's typical growth. Values greater than 65 are interpreted as exceeding 1 year's growth, while values less than 35 are interpreted as failing to meet 1 year's growth. So keeping all of that in mind, here are the STAR assessment results. And according to the measures set for 1 year's progress on STAR assessments, the charter school's results for the 2024-25 school year meet the criteria for 1 year's progress for math and reading school-wide, as well as for the majority of grade levels. And the petition highlights that in 2024-25, 9 out of the 10 grade levels tested met or exceeded 1 year's growth in reading. In math, 6 out of the 10 grade levels met or exceeded 1 year's growth. And you can see that displayed here grade by grade. In 2024-25, of the charter school's 5 numerically significant student groups, 3 met or exceed 1 year's growth in reading. The charter school students with disabilities nearly met the measure for 1 year's growth, achieving an SGP of 32. Remember, 35 would have made it. So now, moving on to a fiscal analysis and enrollment projections. The CDE reviewed the charter school's enrollment projections, financial history under SBE oversight, current fiscal position, and multi-year projections. The charter school's multi-year projected budget includes projected pupil enrollment in the table following, and that reflects reasonable enrollment increases based on the charter school's recent history. And we have the table in front of you here with actual and projected enrollment from the 24-25 census day enrollment and actual enrollment as reported on the charter school's September 4th, 2025 student summary report. Giving some historical perspective here, the charter school has a good financial record under SBE authorization. The charter school's fiscal year 2025-26 first interim report indicates that the charter school is projecting a positive ending fund balance of $200,499 and reserves calculated as the ending fund balance divided by total expenditures of 14.07% of the total expenditures, which is above the recommended 5% outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, between the charter school and the SBE. In the 2024-25 audit report, the CDE reviewed the financial data from the independent audit report that reflected an unqualified status with an ending fund balance of $214,665 and reserves of 10%. The charter school's multi-year financial plan projects operating surpluses and increasing reserves. Conclusion on the fiscal analysis. This charter school's multi-year financial plan projects operating surpluses and increasing reserves and the following table displays the charter school's ending fund balance and reserves percentage after the CDE's adjustment for the next 3 fiscal years. And leaving that in front of you for a moment, the CDE concludes that the charter school's financial plan is fiscally sustainable. Regarding oversight history, the charter school has operated under the authorization of the SBE with oversight responsibilities delegated to the CDE Charter Schools Division and has been in good standing with its chartering authority for that time. On June 23, 2021, the charter school received a letter of concern regarding the English Language Development Program, or ELD, reviewed during the annual site visit on March 25th and 26, 2021. The charter school responded to the letter of concern with a plan of action on August 23, 2021, which was subsequently implemented, resolving the CDE's concern. The CDE has no outstanding concerns regarding the charter school. Over the course of its current term, the CDE has found the charter school to be in compliance with its charter and the MOU between the SBE and the charter school. In summary, the CDE proposes to recommend the SBE approve the charter school's renewal petition for a term of 5 years, beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2031. The charter school meets the requirements for charter renewal under EC Section 47607.2. While the majority of the charter school's results on dashboard state indicators are below those of the state, the charter school's 2024-25 verified data demonstrates a school-wide average of 1 year's progress, as well as 1 year's progress for the majority of grade levels. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And for folks wishing to make public comment by phone for this item, you should call in now. Dial 717-908-1926 and use access code 1166083 pound. Let me say that again, 1166083 pound to be added to the caller queue. Are there any clarifying questions for Craig before we invite the charter school up? All right, seeing none, representatives from the charter school. Thank you all for joining us, and you have 10 minutes for your presentation. We appreciate you guys coming all the way up here.
Good morning, Commissioner Taylor, commissioners, state board liaisons, and members of the public. My name is Meg Ridman, and I serve as the superintendent of the Olive Grove Charter Schools, and this is my colleague, Lisa O'Shea, who serves as the site director for Olive Grove Charter Santa Barbara. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you information about our school in support of our charter renewal. Olive Grove has been serving students and families in Santa Barbara County for close to 25 years. Since 2018, Olive Grove has operated as a family of 4 schools, including Olive Grove Charter Santa Barbara, established as such following the Shasta-Anderson decision, which required separate charters for each learning center location. Through an engaged and interactive process, our 3 other schools were successfully renewed this fall by their local districts. Each of our schools is distinct, but they share the same organizational principles, philosophy, and methodology. The school is classified as middle performing by the CDE, and crucially, the CDE recommends approval of the renewal for a 5-year term. As their report states, this recommendation is based on verified academic growth, a positive school climate, operational stability, and a commitment to continuous improvement.
Olive Grove offers a flex-based independent study program serving students in TK through 12, utilizing a blended learning approach, which includes curriculum paired with in-person support. To sum it up, we offer a highly interactive independent study program with wraparound support. Our mission is to prepare students to self-advocate, communicate effectively, use technology responsibly, and pursue college career success with a focus and strong support systems, rigorous curriculum, and excellence. We value, each core value is important, but partnership is a key component. The relationship between parents and guardians, students, credentialed teachers, and the support team is critical and crucial to what makes our model effective. We serve students whose needs may not be entirely met in a traditional school setting. Those with health or safety challenges, including those with anxiety, being bullied, medical needs, or safety concerns, families in transition, relocating, those in transitional housing, having conflicting work schedules, caregiving issues, or pregnant or parenting, and learners requiring flexibility for personal, family, or professional goals, such as athletes and actors. And then learners who may be credit deficient or unable to make it to school for some period of time. Often these students return to their district after needing something different for a period of time. We offer a hybrid model, independent learning, plus weekly teacher advisor meetings, on-site science labs, classes, art and music workshops, plus field trips and other enrichment experiences. A rigorous curriculum, which is A through G approved, including CTE courses, which are new for the 25-26 school year. A hybrid ELD program with weekly in-person and virtual classes, in addition to independent practice at home for those students. Our wraparound support MTSS framework offers tier 1 through 3 interventions ranging from standard support to tutoring to intensive one-on-one counseling. We're a member of El Dorado Charter SELPA, and we provide a full complement of special education supports and services for our students with IEPs. And we offer comprehensive mental health support, including access to our counselors.
A little bit about our enrollment. This chart represents total census day enrollment for 5 school years, including this one. Our enrollment is rising after a slight dip in 24-25, a significant dip from 21-22 to 22-23, but has been rising again. Our census day enrollment for this school year was 84, but as of yesterday, it continues to rise. We were at 87 students with 21 students on our wait list. As of census day, some of our demographics represent our Hispanic and white students represent the largest race and ethnicity groups. Socioeconomically disadvantaged students come in at about 46.5%. Our students with disabilities represent about 12%, and our English learners are about 7% of our student population. Looking at these, we went one too far. There we go. Sorry. Enrollment by student group over the last 3 years, our SED and SWD students have declined in terms of their percent of our population, but our English learners have held steady. Now go to the next one. And looking at enrollment by grade span over the last 3 years, you can see at a glance we typically support high schoolers 9 to 12. In fact, students in the 11th and 12th grades typically make up the majority of our student population. In this school year, 25-26, 56% of our students are in the 11th or 12th grade. And that holds true last year, they were about 51%, and the year prior it was 48%. Looking at contiguous enrollment, it's another key piece to understanding who we serve. The majority of our students are in their first year with us, averaging about 58% first year enrollments over the last 3 years. And our stability rate is low relative to our county. This indicates that our students have a high degree of transiency, often coming to the school specifically for the short term, aligning with the previous assertion that many of our students actually wish to return to their district schools when they are ready.
So a synopsis of feedback from our annual survey data incorporated into our LPAC and local indicator reporting shows high levels of parent, guardian, student and staff satisfaction regarding safety and support. Parents and guardians report strong safety, positive communication, valued partnerships. Students appreciate the flexibility, the supportive teachers, and report feeling safe and accepted. Staff are fully credentialed, collaborative. We have a high retention of staff, and our staff feel valued. We're proud to boast a 0% suspension rate.
Verified data using the Star Renaissance platform does demonstrate that we meet the threshold for 1 year's academic progress for each year students are enrolled. This slide displays the 24-25 growth results, where you can see 71% met or exceeded growth goals in reading and 59% of students met or exceeded growth goals in math. And as mentioned, 3 out of our 5 student groups exceeded the median in both reading and math. And in fact, it's not on the slide, but while our students with disabilities were very close to meeting the growth goal in math, they actually outperformed. The students with disabilities growth outperformed growth of other student groups. Our academic indicators, we do have work to do when it comes to our dashboard accountability measures and other public-facing metrics. And we are addressing this through our academic interventions and enhanced programming. Our high mobility impacts metrics on the dashboard. With so many first-year enrollments, particularly those in 11th and 12th grade, averages are often a reflection of the level at which the students are arriving, often with serious credit deficiencies and academic gaps. Our school serves as a critical safety net for the district and these students, offering personalized guidance for students who aren't quite fitting into the traditional system. And an analysis of our data demonstrates that sustained enrollment improves achievement. Students enrolled for 2 or more years show improved average distances from standard compared to our first-year students. On this slide is for ELA. The first year is on the left and 2+ years on the right. And then we see that in math as well. There are improvement in the average distances from standards if they're enrolled with us for 2 or more years.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. In conclusion, Olive Grove meets renewal criteria. Under authorization of the SBE and working closely with the CDE since 2018, we've cultivated a positive, open, productive relationship. We're middle performing for 3 consecutive years. We're fiscally sound. Our verified data shows positive growth trajectory. Our school is fully WASC accredited, and our 3 sibling schools have already secured their renewals.
So renewal ensures our Santa Barbara families will keep a vital, flexible educational option. It protects personalized learning pathways that meet the critical needs of our students.
We would like to thank the Commission for your time and consideration. On behalf of the entire Olive Grove school community, we respectfully urge you to act upon the CD's recommendation for approval and vote to move our renewal forward to the State Board of Education. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Any clarifying questions for the school? All right, Commissioner Fennell.
Quick question. You mentioned there's 4 schools in your family. 3 have been approved already. Who's the authorizer for the other 3?
Our school, Olive Grove Charter Buellton, is going to be authorized by the San Ynez Valley Union High School District starting July 1. Our Olive Grove Charter Orchid Santa Maria School will be authorized by the Santa Maria Joint Union High School District starting July 1. And the 3rd school, Olive Grove Charter Lompoc, will be authorized by Lompoc Unified School District.
So you've gone through, for your family of 4 charters, you've gone through 4 different processes for renewal. And 3 of them have been approved already, and this one was denied, and therefore you're here.
Correct. We did all 4 simultaneously at the 4 separate districts, yes.
Thank you.
Great. All right, thank you so much. District staff, is there anyone here from the district that would like to make a presentation? Just a reminder for the folks online, if you wish to make public comment for this item by phone, please call in now, dial 717-908-1926, use access code 1166083#. The floor is yours.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, commissioners. Congratulations, Commissioner King, on your extension, and thank you for your service. My name is Steve Venz. I am the Chief Operations Officer for Santa Barbara Unified School District. and I will be taking point for the district in terms of the charter renewal and giving you more details regarding why we denied their renewal. And just starting on that note, yes, there were other charter schools with Olive Grove that were approved. Again, what we looked at in terms of how they approached their renewal was very similar to ours, but the data showed something completely different in terms of the performance. So I'm going to explain to you specifically in terms of the key data, which is the review of their academic data, and we based our decision on that in particular, and that was aligned with the state indicators. And then the second part that I will walk you through will be just the analysis of when we went through the renewal petition, the LCAP, as well as our observations when we went to the school. And again, what we did was we took into greater weight the state indicators when we made this determination, which was not an easy determination to make. Something again, that they brought up, it is an alternative education model, distance online learning model that supports students with various needs. We looked at the enrollment for this past year, which is 74 total. Demographics that you saw was 6.8 EL students. They had 58.1 SED, socioeconomically disadvantaged, as well as they had 13.5 students with disabilities. Breakdown in terms of race ethnicity is the majority of their students are Hispanic Latino at 70.3%. And then the second population is white, which is 25.7%. So that gives you just an idea of what the population they are working with our students, meaning the community. One of the things that they mentioned specifically with their comments was sustained enrollment does improve student achievement. One of the things that we did look at the dashboard data that was actually brought up by CDE. I just want to reiterate, not only was the dashboard data taking into account their scores from SBAC, but also the penalty if they didn't have students being assessed. So you saw something that from 2023 it went from minus 17.6, and they had one student who wasn't assessed. The next year they went, this is with ELA, so it's all of their students with an ELA. So it went to the next level. In 2024, it dropped to minus 33.5, and they had a penalty of 2 students. And then 2025, it dropped in ELA to minus 50.1 with 0 penalty rate, as well as we're talking about basically it's 13 out of 45 students who are meeting or exceeding the standards. So that's across all of the grade levels. Another data point that we were able to pull down the CDE has the 5x5 sheets that drills down into the data, so you could see specifically some of the groups that you can't see with the splash page of the dashboard that's online. We were able to see that your ever ELs, so that's our EL group. That's not only they're currently in EL, but they're also RFEP, they're reclassified. It's that group. And what we noticed within 2025 in particular, we only saw 9.5% of those students who met or exceeded the assessment there. So that's 2 out of 21. Regarding mathematics in particular, that's where we really saw the decline over 3 years. I won't go over the penalty rates because it's the same that it was with ELA, but just to remind you that in 2023, it was minus 114. We went from there to 2024, which was 148, which was a substantial drop, and then 2025, which is a 159 drop. Essentially what we're talking about in 2025, we had 2 out of 45 students total meeting or exceeding the standards at that time. With that, we were also able to pull down SED data, or socioeconomically disadvantaged data, and this is what we saw with that as well. In 2023, you had 2 of 15 students meeting exceeding. 2024, you had 1 of 17. 2025, you had 1 of 30. Again, it goes from 13% to 5.9% to 3.3%. And again, the ever ELs, 0%. So taking that into account, we also separated that into the high school bucket, I would say, because the majority of their students are high school students. What we noticed over, I believe it was 7 years, in particular from 2018-19 to the current model, that 77% of their students are in high school. So we really wanted to make sure that we were looking at that high school data. So the graduation rate that you saw, three-year graduation rate. So in 2023, they had this, it was basic, I'm just going to round it. So it's 70%, and the state was at 86%. The next year, 2024, it was 79%. It went up. The state was still 86%, but in 2025, it dropped. It went back down to 60, or actually 69%, rounding it up. And the state at that time went up by 87.8. Some of the key indicators, right, making sure that our kids are prepared for college and career. We looked at the CTE pathway, 2023, 0% completed the pathway. We got 2024, where you had 2 of 29, so that was basically 6.9% completed a pathway there. And then 2025, 0 completed the pathway. Looking at UC-CSU requirements, saw something where at 2023, they had 6.1%, and then that's 2 of 33 students in that cohort. 2024, we got 3.4%, 1 of 29 meeting the UC-CSU requirements. And then 2025, we had 2 of 16 students, so that went up by 12.5%. And the last indicator that I want to bring to your attention is the college and career indicator. What we saw in 2023, that we had students who were prepared for college and career, or the college career indicator prepared, it's 3.1%, so it was 1 student out of 32. Approaching was 13.3%, and the remaining part was basically 75%. 2024, it was similar, where you had 1 student who was prepared in the total cohort, and that's 3.6%. Approaching was 13.3%, and again, not prepared, 75% of the students. Last part was 2025. That cohort was 16, so we saw 2 students, similar as what we saw with UC-CSU requirements. So 2 students, 13.3, met the indicator, 13.3 approaching, and then 73.3%. So as we started looking, we talked about those are the indicators, and those were the primary sources of our determination of why we decided to deny their charter. But also here's the supporting evidence that we used to also help figure out what was happening in this space. So we understand that the use of the STAR assessment is important. We use the STAR assessment in our school district. We also understand that there's one of the key things about the STAR assessment is that if you trigger to measure in terms of district standards or state standards, you see 2 different measures. And it's very important to make sure that you're using it in terms of state standards and measuring it that way. Number 2, the most important part is just because it's the STAR Renaissance reading assessments or assessment, that's specifically what it is. It's a reading assessment. It's not designed as a tool to really determine ELA readiness or meeting a standard at grade level. Mm-hmm. It's a great tool, though, however, to actually drill down and determine what your students need and support. So if you pull down Steve's...
That is time.
Time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finish your sentence if you'd like.
Okay, so bottom line is that what we saw specifically, they have the tools, but they're not using the tools in the way to best support their students as a diagnostic tool to serve the needs of the kids. So that is why we denied their petition. Thank you.
Thank you. Any clarifying questions from commissioners for the district? All right. I guess we will move towards public comment. So are there any public commenters on the phone for this item?
Yes, we do have one caller with the last 4 digits, 6615. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You are now live.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Magana. I am president of the Lompoc Teen Center, park commissioner for Santa Barbara County. I'm also serve on I'm on the board for the Lompoc Theater Path to Achievements. I'm leader of Lompoc Valley, and as well as in the Junior League of Santa Barbara, and part of the Santa Barbara County Youth Workforce Pipeline. So, dear commissioners, my name is Alexandra Magana, and I speak today as a member of the general public in full support of Olive Grove Charter School. This is our second year at Olive Grove, and my daughter enrolled after experiencing severe bullying at her previous school, which deeply impacted her mental health, my mental health. Within 1 semester at Olive Grove, she began to heal, regain confidence, and feel safe again. When she later returned to a traditional school, the bullying resumed, escalated into physical assault, resulting in urgent care visits and lack of transparency from schools, as well as from the police. Since returning to Olive Grove, my daughter has thrived. She is an honor student on track to graduate by 11th grade with access to CET courses and internships.
That is time.
Olive Grove provides individualized education.
There are no further callers in the queue.
Great. Thank you for the public comments online. Are there any public comments in the room?
Yes, we have 6. I'm going to call the names of the first 3. Please line up at the microphone in the back. Laura, Nancy, Janelle. Okay. Please be sure to state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You may begin.
Is this thing on? Yes. Okay, great. Laura Kerr with the Charter School Development Center. We're here in support of, well, thanks again to Commissioner Taylor and to the staff for their review. The staff recommends a renewal for the middle track, and we support the staff recommendation. This school is serving a really important, it provides a really important option in their community. And, you know, the school used to be a DOS school and isn't anymore. And I know we're having a bigger conversation about, you know, alternative accountability structures for schools that just don't quite fit in with the STAR or with the SBAC and that regime. So thank you, and please support the renewal.
Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Commissioner members. My name is Nancy Mowry. I am a first grade teacher here on behalf of the California Teachers Association. CTA urges the ACCS to recommend that the SBE deny Olive Grove Charter School, Santa Barbara's charter renewal petition. Since I only have 1 minute, I'm going to highlight just a few areas of concern. In 2025, they had roughly 4% proficiency in math on the CASP assessment. Over the last 3 years, the charter school has been consistently below the statewide graduation rate. Only 13.3% of students were college and career ready in 2025. CTA has concerns that the only reason this charter school was considered middle performing was due to their low student enrollment and therefore not meeting eligibility to receive the California School Dashboard colors. CTA urges the ACCS to recommend the SBE deny the charter school petition renewal. Thank you.
Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Commissioners, State Board Liaisons. My name is Janelle Rulli. I'm with Legal Counsel for the Charter School. I'm certainly proud to be here in support of Olive Grove, Santa Barbara. And of course, we're seeking your recommendation to the State Board to approve this renewal. As the CDE staff has advised you, our job here today really is to focus on the Olive Grove Charter, not on the district's report or their presentation. And as a reminder, the standard to non-renew a middle-performing charter school is a very high standard. You would have to make written factual findings that closure is in the best interest of those particular students. Those findings are not present today. And to the contrary, you've heard that students are learning and they're engaged, that Olive Grove maintains a wait list even for its enrollment. The district schools that these students would otherwise be sent to are substantially underperforming, and their distance from standard scores are about twice in the negative direction what Olive Grove's are.
That is time.
Thank you.
Please, Cassie, Nicholas, and Jeff line up at the microphone. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Cassie Mancini here on behalf of the California School Employees Association, urging the ACCS to recommend that the SBE deny the Olive Grove Charter renewal petition. I think we've heard a lot today about how Olive Grove is failing students as evidenced by their scores on the dashboard or their lack of color, which makes them a middle-performing school, and they have no way of being eligible to be a low-performing school with these enrollment numbers. But I want to focus today on something that hasn't been said, and that's the fact that they are not meeting the verified data threshold. To be eligible for inclusion as a verified data, a data source must include the results of at least 95% of eligible students. Olive Grove's verified data did not meet anywhere near that 95% threshold. They only tested 43% of students in 23-24 and 78% in 24-25. So we would urge the SBE to disregard the verified data that was presented today, as it does not meet the SBE's standard for inclusion as a verified data source. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Good morning, members of the commission. My name is Nicholas Watson. I'm speaking on behalf of the California Charter Schools Association. CCSA supports the staff recommendation for the renewal of Olive Grove Charter School. Olive Grove is a middle-tier school that has met all of the criteria for renewal. The school's verified data shows significant student growth in reading and math, and they are performing at a much higher level than the district school their students would otherwise attend if Olive Grove is not renewed. We request that you vote in favor of the staff recommendation. Thank you.
Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Commissioners and State Board Liaisons. Jeff Rice with A+, representing 119 flex-based personalized learning charter school members, serving more than 128,000 students across the state of California. We are here in support of the CDE recommendation for a 5-year renewal for Olive Grove, Santa Barbara. I've had the honor of working with Superintendent Ridman for many, many years and can attest to the fact that they are strongly committed to high standards of integrity, academic progress, academic accountability, and compliance. The one most important indicator here is, as reported by the school, they serve a majority of kids for 1 year. And those kids come with far below basic academic achievement. And as the state said, as the school said, it takes at least 2 years or more to help those kids catch up. And they are showing tremendous growth over year over growth academic progress for those kids who remain with the school over time. Thank you very much.
That concludes public comment for item 3.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. I appreciate all of those thoughts. So we're going to open the conversation to commissioner questions and deliberations. So who would like to start? Yeah, Commissioner King, go for it.
Okay, so first off, let me say thank you to the CDE for the hard work. I would also like to say thank you to the district for the level of sensibility that you guys expressed as you were talking about the charter. I would offer that as we kind of went through the data, there's a couple of things that stick out to me, and it's really hard when you're talking about schools like this. One, they don't qualify for low performing. That's just very, very clear. They don't qualify. And so what happens is you either qualify for high or low, or you're somewhere in the middle. And so what we hear is that they're not qualifying for low is just based on the fact that they have low student count. Well, that's just part of the reality of the students that they actually serve. There is concession for that within the statute for that reason. Also, when we're talking about things like CCI and you have those very, very low numbers, what cannot get lost is one, they have a high transient population of students, and that the college and career indicator only accounts for the 12th graders. So no matter what's happening in the other grades, you only get the indicator as prepared in that 12th grade year. So how the students actually come really, really matters. And as we heard from some of the speakers, that the schools they would otherwise attend are either performing similarly or below. So to me, that indicates for the deliberation of our public and, our body that there's a necessity for them to exist. Parents are choosing them for a reason. If they were already underperforming and they've decided to come over to this new school entity. And I just hope that we consider those things, and that I strongly recommend that we adopt the CDE's proposal for a 5-year recommendation. So, thank you for.
Commissioner Crowe?
Yeah, if I can just piggyback on that, it's tough sometimes when you're sitting up here and hearing the data, and there's just decline in performance, and a school may be so low compared to the state average, but it's not always apples to apples. So I would like to ask the school staff if you could just confirm or provide background on, in your documentation, it was attachment 5, page 3. You said that, hey, if your school closes, your students will go to Alta Vista High School within Santa Barbara Unified. Is that correct? And if so, how many of your students matriculate to that school? Are there other schools that they would attend, or is Alta Vista High independent study where the majority of your students would go to? I don't think so.
Okay. Is this working?
Yes,
Yes.
gotcha.
Thank you. So the assertion that the students would go to Alta Vista was actually made by the district in their findings report. So we looked at that as the option the district was offering. So I do not have data of actually how many students would go there. We do know public comment was given during the decision or the public hearing at the district that we had at least one family that had been at Alta Vista and left and came to Olive Grove because there weren't adequate A to G options available to that student. I think it was it was in-person science labs that they needed, so they left Alta Vista and came to us. But I'm sorry, I don't have the data of how many would actually matriculate to Alta Vista or other schools in the district. That would be the student's choice. Once they left ours, they would, I'm sure, be welcomed at any Santa Barbara Unified School District program.
Do you know if there are other, before I ask the district, are there other independent study schools within the Santa Barbara School District that you're aware of? Or was all
Within the district? Not that I'm aware of. There are other independent study flex-based charter schools in the area, but I'm not aware of.
District run or district?
Santa Barbara Charter, I believe, has an independent study or homeschool program, but I don't know what their grade span is off the top of my head. But Mr. Vance would be more able to answer that, I suppose.
Yeah, thank you. So I was asking for clarification, as the data shows, right, we gave a lot of data on, the performance of the school. But if we look at Alta Vista High, which would be potentially a comparable, school, the petitioner actually outperforms the district school by 150 points on distance from standard. So there was reference to declines, and the petitioner being at, -50. Alta Vista High in the last year was at -207. That was an ELA. And then in math, the petitioner is at 159, and Alta Vista is actually at -246. So that's a difference of 86 points. So I want to just kind of do a little apples to apples as opposed to just throwing out the state comparison. So just piggybacking on Commissioner King. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Other comments from commissioners, other questions from commissioners?
Yeah, I appreciate Commissioner Crow's comment there. And I just want to make sure I understand this, because what I'm picking up from the readings and then from the presentation is this is a very small, non-traditional alternative program where you take the students where they're at and you try to get them the supports that they need, being fully aware that they may not be with you for very long. And Being from a county office of education, obviously we know that space very well because we operate court community programs and other alternative programs. And so I just, I want to make sure that that doesn't get lost in the conversation, right? When we start talking about all of this data and where they fall into matrix, while that's informative, we also have to make sure that we understand the context with which that data falls or lies. And notwithstanding that, I think Commissioner Crow's comments are important to footnote as well. So thank you.
Great. Any other questions, comments from commissioners, or we're ready to entertain a motion? And just as a reminder, CDE's recommendation was a 5-year renewal. If someone's ready. All right, Commissioner King motions the CDE recommendation.
I'll second.
Commissioner Fennell seconds. All right, any discussion on the motion? All right, we'll go for a roll call vote. Commissioner King. Aye. Commissioner Crow.
Aye.
Commissioner Fennell.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
No.
Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
And Commissioner Taylor votes aye. Motion carries. We'll be forwarding this recommendation on to the State Board of Education. And just want to thank all the presenters and the commenters for their time and participation. Moving on to item 1, which is our consideration of a determination of a funding request as required for non-classroom-based charter schools pursuant to Ed Code sections 4761.5 and 47634.2. Mr. Yu, are you here to present for us? Yay, thank you. Oh, and real quick, before you begin your presentation, people wishing to make public comment by phone for this item should call in at this time. Please dial 717-908-1926 and use access code 1166083#. Again, 1166083#. All right. Thank you, Jonathan. It's all you.
Good morning, commissioners. Is it on? Is it on? Hello? Hello?
Commissioner Jones, can you hear Jonathan?
Wait, can you hear me?
Okay, she can hear
Yes,
you. We're good.
yes.
Okay, perfect.
My name is Jonathan Yu. I'm with the CDE here to present item number 1, which is a non-classroom-based funding determination request. A charter school may receive funding for its non-classroom-based instruction only if a determination of funding is made by the California State Board of Education pursuant to California Education Code, section 47612.5. Regulations shall specify that non-classroom-based instruction is conducted for the instructional benefit of pupils and is substantially dedicated to that function. The SBE shall consider, among other factors, the following: the amount of the charter school's total budget expended on certificated employee salaries and benefits and on school sites, and also the pupil-teacher ratio of the charter school. The request to be considered is a determination of funding request from Altus Schools, Coachella Valley, charter number 2166. The CDE proposes to recommend that the SBE approve the determination of funding request from Altus Schools, Coachella Valley for 100% funding for 2 years, as specified in Attachment 1. California Code of Regulations, Title 5, Section 11963.4a, outlines the criteria for funding for non-classroom-based instruction and provides that charter schools shall be funded pursuant to applicable regulations unless there is a reasonable basis to recommend otherwise. The charter school meets the criteria for 100% funding as detailed in Attachment 1. A funding determination shall be in increments of 2 to 5 years pursuant to California Code of Regulations, Title 5, Section 11963.4c. Education Code Section 47612.5d2 states that a charter school that has achieved a rank of 6 or greater on the Academic Performance Index for the preceding 2 years shall receive a 5-year determination. Based on the CDE's current interpretation of statute, the CDE recommends funding periods between 2 to 4 fiscal years. 2 years for the first time submission of a funding determination request, which is what it's for this school. Altus Schools, Coachella Valley requested a funding period of 5 years. The CDE proposed to recommend a funding period of 2 years as the charter school has not previously obtained a funding determination. Therefore, the CD proposed to recommend the SBE approve the termination of funding request from Alta Schools Coachella Valley for 100% funding for 2 years as specified in attachment 1. That concludes my presentation. I'm here for any questions.
Great. And public comment, just a reminder, is there any public comments online?
There are no comments in the queue. No.
Comments in the queue. Is there any public comment in the room?
Yes, would Nancy and Nicholas please line up at the microphone in the back? Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You may begin.
It's on, right? Yep. Good morning, Commissioner members. My name is Nancy Mowry, and I'm a first grade teacher here on behalf of the CTA, California Teachers Association. CTA has continued ongoing concerns with the funding determination process. The process is flawed and does not provide the level of transparency needed for your commission or the SBE to provide appropriate public oversight on these funding determinations. We question whether your commission is provided enough evidence to justify a need for a 100% funding determination. Thank you for your time.
Please state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 1 minute. You may begin.
Good morning again. Nicholas Watson from the California Charter Schools Association. I would just like to thank CD staff for their work on this item and say while we would appreciate a longer funding period of 4 or 5 years, we do absolutely appreciate CDE's recommendation for full funding for this school. Thank you.
That concludes public comment for item 1.
Great. Any comments, questions from the commissioners? Yep, Commissioner King.
My question just rests on, I see the 2-year recommendation. However, the statute does allow for more. Is it just the CDE's interpretation or common practice to give the 2 years because of it being the first time?
It is a new charter school, so based on the regulations, a 2-year funding determination is required. Or the 2-year period is required.
So for clarification, you're saying the statute does not allow them longer?
Yes, for a new charter school, yeah.
Are there other questions, comments? Commissioner Reyes, you have comments on that or no? Is Jonathan, is that related to the regulations or the statute around the regulations? So this is the Code of Regulations asks
Yeah.
Oh,
for a 2-year.
Code of Regulations Title 5, Section 11963.6A.
Okay, great. Other questions, other comments, or are we ready for a motion? Not seeing one. I'll make the motion to approve the staff recommendation.
Second.
All right, moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other conversations or deliberations on the motion? All right, all those in favor in a roll call vote. Commissioner King.
Aye.
Commissioner Crow.
Aye.
Commissioner Fennell. Commissioner Jones.
No.
Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Jonathan and the team, for all of your hard work getting this together. And that is the end of our meeting today. Our next ACCS meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 7, 2026. Sounds like we're going to have a lot of funding determination requests coming through. And thank you all for a great meeting today. And today the meeting is adjourned at 11:49 a.m.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor, for stepping in.